Good morning, comic fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty. Today, we're going to have a quick little look at Feral. People may already be familiar with this one. It's from the creators of Stray Dogs. And I kind of have to start this by saying I did read Stray Dogs, and it really didn't land for me compared to how amazingly successful and popular and how raved about this was online. It didn't quite work for me. Unfortunately, it comes down to something which a lot of people loved, which is the Disney-fied art style in comparison to the very dark story. And I've seen other comic books do this, and I've been okay with it, so I really enjoy, Dwellings. I don't have a solid reason why it didn't quite vibe for me, but something about it just felt like it was too much of a jump from one to the other. And when I saw that they were doing another one, this one an ongoing apparently, rather than just a little self-contained miniseries, I was like, you know what, I should give it a try. People were really a fan of this, and I feel like I missed something, maybe I was left behind, so I'm going to give it another go. And I do really enjoy this one. For a start off, I've always liked zombie stories, providing they do something with the material. The worst kind of zombie story is just where it's like zombies bad, or it's just an excuse that we can use violence without worrying about offending people, like using robots or whatever like that. I mean, even Shaun of the Dead, the always popular zombie rom-com, does more with the idea of zombies than some zombie TV shows have done, as an example. So with this one, I was all for the idea of, okay, this is zombies, possibly a offshoot of rabies kind of thing, and it's going to take these house cats and put them in dangerous situations surrounded by feral animals. And I was like, yes, okay, I like this straight away, because it kind of reverses it. It's more like it's using something else to tell a zombie story. I like that, that's cool. And I straight away found myself really liking it because the characters are brilliant. And yes, we are talking about very cute Disney-esque looking cats, but there's also been some time taken to get under the skin of what these cats' lives have been like, how they interact with the world. When you compare it to something like Man's Best I read recently, which has the animals living in kind of a fantasy world where they believe themselves to be more than they actually are. In Feral, we get the sense that these cats actually do know that they're cats, they know their place in the world, and although they may have a superiority confidence because they're cats, they don't really have much in the way of a fantasy version of reality. They live in a reality that's recognisable. They have a different life to us, they understand that they are part of a family. The two cats seem to see each other as siblings or family members to a certain degree, even though they don't particularly get on very well, because, cats. And I like the relationship between them. The dialogue is pretty good. The writing is tight throughout, actually. I don't think there's really much wasted. Even when we get certain, repetitive kind of moments, it feels like they're repeating stuff for a reason. It's for emphasis, it's to add to it. And there's also some absolutely lovely foreshadowing that happens in this story setup. I don't want to get into too much details about exactly what is said, but it leaves me thinking that this is not just a story of a slightly more virulent rabies outbreak. There does feel like there's more going on here. There's a sinister air that's built up and carries on building up throughout. Now, it might not be. It might be that I am just reading something into it and I'm adding my own take to it, but I'd like to think that it's just a really good way of amping up tension. And then when we do get to some red in tooth and claw action near the end, it's a really solid payoff, and I think it also adds to the fact that I didn't mind the Disney-esque artwork for this. I feel like the violence we're seeing on the page, animal on animal, feels a little bit more real, even with the Disney-style artwork. I think it comes across as threatening and dangerous and violent in the way it should do. I definitely am getting more from this than I did Stray Dogs, and there's also an absolutely clear understanding and love of form, which I think is brilliant. The creators use this to tell some fantastic story beats using paneling and framing and then layouts and how it's presented to show passages of time. And the action sequences really use this effectively. I honestly had to go back and recheck out some pages. I just found myself keeping looking at this a few pages being like, man, this is great. This is really solid, through and through art. The fact that it's in a style which isn't usually my thing kind of fled away to the back of my mind, and I just got to enjoy it for what it was, and I can't really give it a higher compliment than that. I honestly do want to see where it's going to go. I think I want to check if my idea on the foreshadowing is correct, but I also really care about the characters. We don't get much time with them because it is a setup issue and there's some backstory that needs to be put into it, and there's an occasional flashback here and there, but there's enough of them that I feel like there's more under the skin. I want to find out more about what led them to this situation and how they're going to respond to it, because they're so well established just in the few pages we get that how they respond to it is going to be good. They are good characters already, and I want to see them go through these struggles. I think it's going to be a very, very entertaining read. That's it for me for now, though. I think I might have one more thing to review this week. So until then, look after each and everyone. Stay safe. Bye!